introduction, dude.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while, man, since we had Jose the Ocho and MTG on here. Hey, look, what's up? There's Barry. And what you call,
Hey, how's it going, man?
we're live on YouTube. We live on YouTube right now, baby. How's everybody doing today?
Good. I'm glad you told me. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Impressive.
Yes,
Go ahead, Miguel. Hit us up, man. What you got?
Okay, let's talk about the WWE draft. That was a boring-ass draft. That's a boring-ass...
It was very lackluster.
It was...
We're talking about the draft.
It was
how lackluster it was.
It was a boring-ass draft. Barely anybody went to show. People, most of them stayed on their own shows.
Did we find it?
So yeah, what's your take on that, Miguel? That to me, yeah, the draft was very lackluster, and it did not make sense. But here's one thing that doesn't make sense, and I don't know if you guys paid attention to this one. When we saw that two drafts were slipped into the fingers of Raw and SmackDown, is when SmackDown's Braun Breaker draft slipped to Nick Aldis' fingers from Raw to slip from Nia Jax's fingers too. Which that was the only change. But you see, it doesn't make any sense with Braun Breaker because Nick Aldis signed a contract to SmackDown and then you draft them? It makes no sense at all. What do you think of that, Miguel?
Or maybe on the
Anybody can take
contract.
that.
Well, remember, it's the draft. It doesn't matter what the contract says. If you get, once you're picked, you're chosen to pick to go to the other brand. I mean, what can Braun Breaker do about that, or Nick Aldis?
It just slipped into the fingers, and I think Wade Barrett had a very good point of it. That signing contract that he had with Braun Breaker, the draft kind of just slipped through his fingers to Nick Aldis.
Right. And like, the thing is, this whole draft, basically barely anybody got moved anywhere. The only people that got moved was Andrade to SmackDown, Nia Jax to SmackDown. The Final Testament went to Raw. Braun Breaker went to Raw. Only a small people, in the Alpha Academy stayed on Raw. Like people, most of them stayed on their own brands where they were originally at. So what was the point? Or maybe they should do like the old days. Like this is how they did it in the old days. If you remember the 2004 WWE draft where they had Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff on stage, and you know how they had the raffle balls, and inside the balls it says the names of the wrestler. Well, what they should have done that.
Yeah. I just feel like Paul Levesque, Triple H kind of shot himself in the foot of doing that one. I mean, I can't expect any perfection about him, but he is good. But I hope he's learned from this mistake of creating this draft. I mean, Monday he did a pretty good job. It was decent because, some NXT guys were really picked up. But Friday was a jumpy start, and it seems like he must have learned from it. I hope he did,
Yeah.
Triple H guy or no Triple H guy, man, you got to really lay the cards on him.
Yeah, well, as a performer, he was decent. He wasn't like the greatest performer in the world, but as a booker, he's actually good.
He's just good. And I tell people he's not the best. He's a human being, but he's not perfect,
Yeah, right.
In NXT, he built a lot of long-term booking and stories, and he gave those belts meaning.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Do you guys think, for Paul Levesque, now being in charge and a writer of a main roster from Raw to SmackDown, do you think this is like a really overwhelming thing? Because, NXT Black and Gold and main roster, it's a whole different environment.
Right.
Do you think it's a very different environment from both of these two things?
Go ahead, Barry.
Anybody give it away?
Answer that question.
Yeah.
Repeat it again. I'm sorry. I was in another.
Like saying main roster wise, do you think it's a different environment for Triple H comparing how the way he booked his matches in NXT Black and Gold to main roster? Do you feel like does he feel a lot different in a different environment?
It does. It feels like it different because when he was in charge of NXT, I feel like he did more better than what he's doing now because he made NXT what it is when he was in charge.
Because I can see those hiccups are coming. There's the good, decent matches, but then the hiccups are coming to play that, he shot himself in the foot on this one because this feud didn't make any sense or something like that.
Right, and I mean the main roster in NXT is a whole different environment, so I'm pretty sure he's got more. I'm pretty sure he's got more pressure on him than he did in NXT, and like so far the storyline that not storyline. I mean, he can't really push his guys like he had from NXT, like guys like Gargano, Ciampa, and he's rarely. I don't think he's gonna push those guys as singles wrestlers, or maybe he will, depending on how the crowd reacts. Because I could see DUI might turn on each other soon. Because remember when Tommaso Ciampa first time turned on Johnny Gargano? I think they're gonna redo that storyline. Because if you watch Raw 2 weeks ago, remember that match with Miz and R-Truth versus DIY? And you saw how Ciampa was acting. There's a sign of a heel turn. And honestly, Tommaso Ciampa
story.
Right, and Tommaso Ciampa's a damn good heel. And I guess that Triple H wants to do that whole storyline again, but this time on the main roster. And let's see if it works out great. And we'll see if the you also got to remember that the main roster and the NXT audience is different, because if you look at their compared to the reason why I say that, because look at their ratings compared to NXT. Raw and SmackDown averages like more than 2 million, and NXT probably only averages like 400, 500K.
I feel that they should, if that storyline feud's going to go with Gargano and Ciampa, they just need to spice it up a bit. I mean, do a little similar what you did in Black and Gold, but push the envelope and spice it up to make that story interesting. Because they do have a story, and it does make sense for these guys feuding around and turning against each other, you know.
Yeah, and
so yeah, that's a pretty good call.
And a lot of main roster audience still hasn't seen that feud. Like a lot of people from the main roster audience has not seen that feud. So hey, it might be news to the main roster audience. So yeah.
Well, this is the perfect time for Gargano and Ciampa to plant their seeds and create a story right here. And believe me, they are not going to disappoint if it's booked correctly, you know.
And I keep telling these marks that the main roster and the NXT audience is different. And another reason why I say that, not only because of the viewership, if you remember guys like Johnny Gargano, Malachi Black, Ricochet, and who else I can think of?
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, all these guys that came
from the husband.
Yes, and then all these guys that came from the Black and Gold brand, when they came out to Raw, they didn't get a crowd reaction. There you go. That tells me right. That also tells you why the main roster and the NXT audience is different.
Yeah, different environment.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to NXT, it's like a developmental environment, and main roster you get to deal with 20,000 or 30,000 asses on the seats. So it is very big environment, you know. So
yeah.
But what do you think of Braun Breaker's now going to Raw? Do you think there's going to be an opportunity to him squeeze himself with the mid-card? Because there's stories with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, but where does Braun Breaker go from here?
Probably Chad wins the title from Sami, and then probably Chad's going to have it only for a while. Just for a little while, and then Braun takes the belt off of him.
For starters, Chad Gable has to kick out the Alpha Academy and recruit the Creed brothers. And I feel like that would be a very new Alpha Academy group that can probably help out Chad Gable.
I think that's what's going to happen. That's really going to happen with... he's going to kick out Maxine, Akira Tozawa, Otis, and he's going to recruit the Creed brothers. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, there are too much baby faces out of them, and I don't think the heel is going to take a lot of work for them to become heels right now. Well, right now, when I saw that promo, they feel very blackmailed and very dictated. Like, they are not down what Chad Gable is proposing, you know.
Well,
they're just giving him the disappointment.
It's funny that you mentioned that. First of all, they should have never turned Gable and Otis a baby face, because they were horrible baby faces, and I didn't like Alpha Academy going babyface, because when they're a babyface, they get their ass kicked all the time. As heels, they actually got over, and they're actually more interesting to watch as heels. And it's just that now you can't repackage Otis as a heel, and Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree, they're more like comedy wrestlers on the Alpha Academy. So it's going to be hard to book them. It's not going to really be I don't think the audience will get into them as heels now from now on. So yeah, they're gonna have to let Otis and Kira Tozawa and
he has to let these guys go. Yeah, let the Alpha Academy go. Get the Creed brothers. I feel like that's the prediction that I feel like the Creed brothers are going to be predicted. Almost like a Team Angle, recruit with Benjamin and Haas. It's going to go to that way.
And not only that,
here's the thing that everybody's afraid of. Here's what they're afraid of with Chad Gable. They don't want Chad Gable to have a Kurt Angle syndrome, like supposedly Kurt Angle wants to have sex with Charmel, and definitely they don't want Chad Gable to do it with Maxine Dupree or something like that.
Oh my God! They better not do that.
That was. Let me tell you guys that's a Vince McMahon creation and a Vince McMahon, maneuver.
Yeah, well,
honestly,
Vince McMahon ain't there anymore, so I don't think Triple H is gonna let that happen.
Did you saw that podcast from Kurt Angle that he said he really was not so comfortable about doing that storyline?
Yes, he did.
Even though in general he did apologize to Booker and Charmel, it was a Vince McMahon move, like always.
Oh, yeah,
a guy that enjoys toilet humor and shit jokes, man. A 78 senile demented fuck.
Right.
That's all he
That was
is.
crazy.
That's just the way Vince is. And,
It's evident. That's how Vince has always been.
But Jose, Vince is not there anymore, and it's run by Triple H. I highly doubt Triple H is. I really don't think that's gonna happen with Gable. He's gonna do that.
No, the only thing that I know Triple H is doing little by little, you look between the lines. He's getting rid of the Vince McMahon stink a day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's getting rid of his stink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that way he can have a new beginning, a new era. Because this is what supposedly the draft was supposed to be. Beginning of a new era and everything.
Right.
You just got to give him time to plant his seeds,
Yeah, and and plus we don't need that type of humor ever again in WWE. Like the I want to have sex with your wife and that type of shit that Kurt Angle was doing with Charmel. That was honestly the most weirdest shit one of the most weirdest shits that Vince. I'm pretty sure there's another storyline out there that's worse than that, but
Well, you already know that Peacock already took it off.
Well, I'm glad they did.
It was a Judgment Day pay-per-view when John Cena defended against JBL.
Mm-hmm.
So that match is no longer in Peacock,
Yeah.
Jose.
So what do you? Yeah. Go ahead.
What do you think about? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Barry.
Go ahead.
Okay. What do you think about Brock Lesnar coming back? Do you think he's coming back, or you think he's done?
I say he's coming back, but I think it's too soon to move him. And I think the main thing is you want to definitely book him with a match with Gunther, but what would be the perfect pay-per-view to book Lesnar Booker right now?
SummerSlam.
It's just too soon to put him in.
SummerSlam or WrestleMania. Doesn't matter. Either one of those two. SummerSlam or WrestleMania. It don't matter.
I just hope it doesn't get booked like a Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, man.
Hell
I mean,
Bobby Lashley beat Brock at the Royal Rumble, thanks to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but Barry, all their matches were shit. Both Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Everybody was so hyped. Everybody wanted to see that. And what happened? It was one of the most shittiest dream matches we've ever gotten.
But think about it. Okay, both of you guys answer me this question. Do you think Brock wanted anything to do with Bobby Lashley? Because Lashley was waiting for that match, and he had a contract deal and say, hey, I want to face Brock. Did Brock Lesnar wanted to face Lashley, yes or no? I mean, what did you guys heard about that match when that match was about to take place?
Go ahead, Barry.
I don't think that Brock. I heard that Brock only likes working with certain people. If he likes you, he work with you. If he don't, then he doesn't. Then he's not going to work with you.
Well,
wow. What do you think of that, Miguel?
I did hear rumors about that, and it's just one of those things sometimes where wrestlers don't want to put people over, don't want to put other guys over. It's just one of those things. And my guess is that Brock felt that since Bobby is younger and Bobby is still active, I guess he didn't want to lose to a younger guy like Bobby. So that's my guess on why he didn't like working with him, because you know how You know how, like, in the past, like, you got wrestlers that didn't want to work with this person? Like, you've seen it with Hogan and Brett. You've seen it with Shawn Michaels and Vader.
Yeah.
You've seen it with Brett and Goldberg. You've seen it with so many wrestlers over the years. So the list goes on and on. So
Yeah.
there you go. That's what I.
Yeah, I think you guys do make a point. And he makes a point too, like saying if Brock likes you, then he'll work with you, or if Brock doesn't like you, then you're going to decline and say, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to put you over. Because I think John Cena was getting that controversy too. He didn't want to put over A-Rod, and somebody else he didn't want to put over. You know,
he didn't want to put over Wade Barrett in the Nexus.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's just that another reason is because they felt like that it would hurt them in a way. Like it would hurt them. Like it would hurt them for like not fans to get into them. And even Jim Ross said on his podcast that Hulk Hogan didn't want to put over Brock Lesnar because he felt that Brock Lesnar would kind of like bury him in a way. I mean, how would Brock Lesnar bury him? You're fucking Hulk Hogan. You were already established. You're already an established wrestler at that time in 2002. Like you were already a veteran. You were already a first ballot Hall of Famer. So how the hell can that hurt you? You're fucking Hulk Hogan. You know, and I don't disagree.
You got nothing to prove, yo.
And then why would you not want to put a 25-year-old Brock Lesnar?
Wanted Roman to break Hulk Hogan's record this September if he would have succeeded against Cody.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind.
Would it make sense?
I wouldn't mind because, well, either way, even if he does break Hulk Hogan's record, he's still not a better champion than Hogan. I mean, just because you had the title longer than anybody in history doesn't mean you're a better champion. It helps in some cases how long you hold the belt, depending on who you're debating with. It's just that even if he did break the record, I don't think he's a better champion than Hogan. And second, Roman Reigns only had 50-something title defenses throughout his years as Universal Champion, and Hogan was a full-timer at the time. And I kind of get the reason why they made Roman a part-timer because, you know, they said that the cancer, the leukemia was coming back. That's why I heard
his health issues.
So they had no choice. They had to make him a part-time. And another thing is that I wouldn't mind. I don't really mind to see any records get breaking, even in sports like the NBA, for example. Like LeBron James just beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. Honestly, records are always going to get broken. That's one thing that people have to learn. That records will always be broken, and you saw it with. I never thought LeBron James was. I know. We're talking about another sport, but we never thought that We never thought that LeBron James was going to beat, or anybody in general was going to beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. And hell, records are always going to be broken.
Yeah. It does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think now that Cody's your new world heavyweight champion, and do you feel that there's a lot of mixed crowds now? Because now it seems like it made a change now that you hear an unbalanced crowd, maybe crickets or a little yay crowd, because now it feels like they miss Roman as a champion. Did you guys saw when Roman got pinned by Cody when he gave him, the crossroad 3 times?
Yeah.
Did you saw in the camera closer that Roman was smiling and grinning, like saying, pin me and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Did you guys saw that clip? Roman was smiling, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away.
Go ahead.
It was actually good.
Once I saw that smirk, okay, I decided to sit back and feel good and watch the disillusional people have Cody celebration and look at it now, dude.
Yeah.
My thing is with Cody Rhodes right now, even though he is the champion, I can see Cody hanging on to the title, but I don't see Cody eventually, going like Roman Reigns' record. I don't see Cody breaking Roman Reigns' record.
Yeah, that's what a lot of intelligent people would say, that they're not giving him a 4-year term or 5 years or 10 years or something.
Yeah.
It's no comparison to it. I mean, at least him and AJ had a good feud,
Yeah, I didn't watch Backlash. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I had a long day today.
Enjoy it.
I was watching it, and then I'm gonna watch it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, just enjoy that fight. Okay.
They should. I feel like they could have done more with the.
Oh, Famous B in the house.
Famous B.
Yo, what's up,
Yeah.
guys?
We're this is a chatter show.
Oh, it's a chatter show, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
What's
Miguel,
our
what was
Cody
your take on
Rhodes?
it? Yeah. So go ahead, Miguel. What was that take that you said?
Damn. What?
We left it with Cody.
I wish that little AJ Styles and Cody feud would have started a little early. Like that feud was only for 2 weeks, or maybe AJ might get a rematch at the next pay-per-view. Maybe they might continue this feud at their Backlash. So I don't know.
I give it to SummerSlam. There's a story because I mean the promos that AJ pulled last night, were more like AJ being the lone guy saying that, you know what, I didn't have family members that helped me out that worked for the company, and I didn't have Hall of Famers backing me up. So he's going to be this little rebellious pipe bomb guy that's going to really lay to Cody. So I say the story continues, you know.
Right.
But now they got to be very cautious how the way they're going to build this feud, you know.
Jose,
Yeah.
what do you think about the Drew McIntyre thing? How Drew McIntyre might win it in his hometown. He might get the World Heavyweight Championship back that he claimed that he wanted at WrestleMania and lost it.
I said it would be like his home field advantage for him, because it seems like that's what he wanted, and I think that contract sign that he had with The Rock, I think it's a guaranteed thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in general, when it comes to Drew, WWE owes him. Okay, he put WWE over in an empty arena in a 2020 pandemic, so people cannot forget, you know, anything about Drew. I am still invested in Drew, and that's all.
Yeah.
With Damian Priest is because, you know, he said he grew up in Philadelphia, that he was homeless, he had training, and that was the story with Damian right there, you know.
Yeah.
I probably can give Damian maybe till Survivor Series with his World Heavyweight Champion. What do you guys give Damian on this one?
Clash at the Castle, because Clash at the Castle is in June or July, I believe, and then somehow Drew gets a shot at the World Heavyweight title, and then when Drew and Damian are wrestling, you know how Damian is telling the Judgment Day to stop coming out, I don't need your help and shit. They're probably going to still come out during that match, and then somehow they're going to beat up Drew, and then I think something accidentally is going to happen, and Drew somehow gets the win over Damian at Clash at the Castle. That's the only way.
So you guys are pretty... So here's the thing, question for all of you guys. Do you think that Judgment Day might break up to Clash at the Castle, or you're giving it till SummerSlam? Because, I mean, the seats are planning, and we're seeing a division.
It's gonna happen soon.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Miguel. You want to take this?
I just said. All I'm gonna say is that it's gonna happen real soon. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dominic is going with Legado Fantasta, Santos Escobar. I think Dominic is going to join his group. I have Famous B called it that Dominic is going to lead the Judgment Day anyway.
Yeah.
Because Legado Fantasta and Santos Escobar. That's when they're going over there, but we don't know what they're going to do with Dominic, because Dominic hasn't won any matches lately. He's injured. They never show why he got injured.
Is it official? Is very legit his injury? Because I haven't heard anything. What you guys heard so far about Dominic's injury? Legit?
They said it was a Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to be out for a while if this injury was going to really hit him, or if it was legit-wise, you know.
Right.
And here's another thing. A lot of people definitely got pissed that Liv Morgan did not win the women's championship, and it turned out to be Becky Lynch. I feel like when Becky Lynch got the title, it feels like maybe this was a contract negotiation from between her and WWE that something was being promised. Because probably they wanted to make the safest bet to have Becky Lynch win the WWE champion. What do you guys think of that?
I don't think that's the case, because even if she didn't win that, I feel like she was still going to resign. I don't think she would have. She ain't going to go to AEW. She ain't going nowhere.
So it says Roland. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, absolutely.
I don't care if Greg Moxley's there, but, you know,
Yeah, but WWE is the #1 wrestling company in the world. Why would you want to? Why would you want to go to a trashy company with a terrible owner, head writer that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing? Like, why? No, I don't think that's the reason why Becky won, because she still would have resigned with the company even if she didn't win that battle royal.
But I think a deal was done. You already knew. I mean, if Becky Lynch was saying a deal was done, you know. So it's official, you know.
Yeah.
How about the tag team belts? How do you guys like the new design tag team belts from Raw and SmackDown?
Well, the one that Miz and Truth has, it kind of looks similar to the World Heavyweight title. The SmackDown ones, the one that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory has.
I like those belts.
They look a little similar to the original tag team titles from the 80s and the 90s. They look a little similar to those.
Yeah. They put like eagles on that, you know, so.
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, right now, Theory and Grayson are a really good coward heel tag team. I feel like I give them probably maybe till the Royal Rumble to hang on to it, because right now those two guys are giving those tag team belts meaning right now. So it's a very perfect right now feud and a very story run for Theory and Grayson to be coward heel tag team champions. Those belts are gonna they're gonna make meanings of those belts because the guys are coward heels and they do a hell of a good job of performing it, you know.
Yeah. Well, Brian, got something to say?
I don't know. You can start working. Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm here.
Got anything to say?
As far as what?
About what's going on in the world of wrestling right now.
Well, I mean, as far as the Becky Lynch thing goes, I mean, at this point it was the right thing to do, because let's remember, when Liv Morgan was champion, her run wasn't that great. To be honest with you,
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't that great. Meaning they weren't using properly as champion. So now here's the thing that will happen later on, and this will happen. Listen. I told everybody that Jay Cargill and Bianca were going to be the new tag team champions for the women. Why? To carry the women's tag team division. I called that. I flat out called that. I also called that WrestleMania was going to Vegas. I called that. So it's just one of those things. But what I'm saying is that Becky Lynch right now is fine as champion. But here's the thing. The reason why they didn't want to put the title on Liv Morgan was because Mommy is injured and probably is getting married. But the significance of her leaving for a while was because she is injured because she was attacked by Liv Morgan. So when Mommy becomes healthy, when Mommy is 100%, I promise you that I believe Liv Morgan will win the title. When that happens, Mommy comes back, takes the title from Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan's title run is going to be short, and then you're going to start seeing this feud carry on for a while, because both sides are just want to beat the hell out of each other, and both want to go at it and create this storyline. So that's why Becky Lynch is champion, because right now you don't want to put the title on Liv Morgan without the significance of Mommy being involved. So that right there is clear cut and dry. With Drew McIntyre, I believe Drew McIntyre is going to win in Scotland. He's going to beat Damian Priest, but what you're going to see is the continuation build-up between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Now we can go one or two ways. One, Drew McIntyre retains the round. Maybe they give the belt to CM Punk. But because of this feud that's already started at WrestleMania and carried it on over, you're going to see that happening. That's going to happen.
Yep. Yep. Man.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, you seen? Were you aware, guys, that Ricochet had like a cruiserweight champion or something that Paul Levesque created? You think that's gonna be
That trashy ass, fake ass belt. Shit.
That's the TNT title.
bro,
That's the TNT title.
I don't
That's the
care
TNT.
for WWE speed. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because matches are only under 3 minutes. I don't give a And Barry, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. The TNT title looks better than that shit. So I'm gonna disagree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think the TNT title looks better than that? I agree. It does.
Yeah.
The TNT title looks better.
I'd rather win the TNT
Well, I
title
say
than
when
the.
Darby Allin had the TNT belt, he gave it some meaning, man.
Yes, he did.
When Brody Lee had it, he gave it meaning.
And Miro.
Cody was
Miro
trying
too.
to give it some meaning too.
Miro did as well. Miro, don't forget Miro.
Miro, yeah.
I'd rather win the TNT title than the Speed WWE, the WWE Speed title.
The only thing I need to do is
And get rid of the TBS title for the women. That's a
Oh
joke.
my God.
Get rid of it.
Bruh,
I'm gonna tell you
said.
something.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something, and then I'm gonna let you guys speak on this. Just gonna get this off of my chest. Okay. You put the TBS title, the TBS title on Jay Cargill. You give her a 73-0 record. You don't even put the women's championship on her. Then Tony Khan that claims to be the biggest. Well, I don't know what the fuck you call him because he's a piece of shit in my opinion. But that's beside the point. I signed the biggest person in pro wrestling history. This is the biggest contract I was signed of all time. He said the same thing about Jay Cargill. Now he says that he's saying to AKA Mercedes Moné. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put the TBS title on Mercedes Moné, and he's going to do the same damn shit to her as he did to Jay Cargill, and you're going to see Sasha Banks coming back to WWE. Mark my words. Big time.
Yeah, I could definitely see her go back to WWE.
You know what everybody's doing in AEW, guys? Do you know what everybody's doing? They're just collecting Tony Khan's money.
Exactly.
Because those checks are big and they're so promising.
Hey, you know what the crazy part is?
I would too.
Okada and Mercedes Moné are the two highest paid wrestlers in AEW. They're getting paid more than anybody that's been there since day one.
Yeah,
I had
and they're
to search that
collecting
up
it.
recently.
what about John Moxley?
Even more than John Moxley. They're getting paid more than
Even
John
Moxley.
Moxley, and Moxley's been there for since day one. Even MJF.
He's not coming back to WWE.
I really don't.
Japan
I don't
champion,
wanna,
man.
I really
You
don't
know
want
what
to
I
see.
find more disrespectful?
What's that?
Sure.
Chris Jericho is the person that has been with this company since day one. And you fucking put the FTW championship on him? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. That's the most disrespectful, fucking fucked up title that should not even be in existence. And that's the only thing you do is you put that title on him. That's so fucked up. That's fucked up.
Keep it
I
down
mean-
because they be saying some words out their mouth.
I didn't think that. I didn't think the FTW title was gonna stay around this long. And I'm back to what I was gonna say about the TBS title. When the first day it came out, I said this title should have never been made. Should have never been made ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
Well, you have to understand that Tony Khan is like a baby boy, and he's using his AEW talents like toys.
he
Here's
is.
a baby boy going, "Oh, I'm tired of playing with Sting's toy, so let me use Miro as my new toy."
I'm
Idiot.
like, I
Stop
agree.
playing a friend and be a leader and hire some legit writers to put stories in it. Don't get me wrong. I would like all companies to do better
Right.
Of
and
course.
make AEW be an opportunity when Cody was
Of
there.
course. Of
Do
course.
you guys feel that when AEW went down, was it because of the release of Cody and everything went down? I mean, what's your take on that,
That's
guys?
one of the reasons.
Did that make the difference?
That's one of the
When
reasons.
Cody got released.
Man, one of the reasons.
Yeah, did that make the difference?
That's one of the reasons why
Well,
it made difference.
no.
There was more stuff to it on why it started failing.
I know when Cody was wrestling in WWE, I know Triple H showed him, look, I got you a match with Randy Orton one-on-one. Now, if you lose against Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes lost against Randy Orton, Triple H fired him, but that's when Triple H was the authority. He was playing that role. That's when they fired Cody Rhodes, and I think that's when Cody went to AEW.
We're not talking about that.
But you
We're
don't
talking
contribute
about
to it. You don't contribute ideas to it.
we're talking about when Cody left AEW. You're talking about something that happened, a storyline that happened a few years ago. We're talking about when he left AEW.
No, the reason why Cody Rhodes left WWE is because Vince McMahon was just mistreating him. You make Cody Rhodes into Cody Rhodes, and you put him in a Stardust character, which was really disrespectful. So Cody left because of that reason. Now Cody goes to AEW, becomes part of the company along with Jericho, the Young Bucks. They rebuild this brand. The only reason why Cody Rhodes left was because he wasn't getting paid. He wasn't getting the respect. And he's like, you know what? I'm done. Tony Khan, you're not giving the respect I deserve. I helped build this company. And he goes back to WWE, and now you starting to see him now being the face of the company since Roman Reigns is gone. But the point that Jose's making, which is a very valid point, is Tony Khan is letting these wrestlers take over his company instead of him taking over his company. But I've talked about this numerous times on my podcast, over and over and over again. It is based on experience. Triple H had the experience. Tony Khan doesn't. You see what the WWE's doing now when Triple H is taking over. You're seeing what AEW's doing with Tony Khan doing his thing. So it's just based off experience, which Tony Khan does not have, and he's so desperate that he is allowing his wrestlers to try to help him, and it's not working. That's all I got to say.
And not only that,
And here's the thing. I mean, you can all answer this one. What was the point of Tony Khan putting a CM Punk video with Jack Perry? What was the point of that?
God.
Anybody can answer that. Whoever wants to start.
Because Tony Khan is an idiot.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think that was done to show that on national TV, on social media, so he can shove it in WWE's face and try to get Punk fired from WWE.
Huh?
That's
Didn't
exactly
do him any favors.
That's
That's what I
exactly
think.
correct. That's exactly
Do
correct.
Tony Khan any favors. I mean, come on, Phil Brooks does not work with you no more.
Right.
Really.
Barry nailed it on the dot. Everything he said was absolutely correct. 100% correct.
Thank
Exactly
you.
what happened.
Thank you.
And
Well, they did
Tony-
more. You know, Tony Khan did more than shoot himself with the foot. He fucked up.
At least I got my story right.
Well, here's the thing.
You need help getting up?
Okay, first of all, what really sucked about the whole thing was you fired Jack Perry for no reason. Jack Perry, it wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't.
Now, when you look at the video and you see the video, you see CM Punk creating the drama. You don't see Jack Perry creating the drama. But regardless of the fact, I don't think Tony Khan should have to me, it was disrespectful in all levels. There was no reason to show this video.
Right.
The whole point was you wanted CM Punk gone, you got rid of him. Why would you show this video? To me, it's like, dude, you got what you wanted, but you want to throw insult? Like, and then on top of that, you fire Jack Perry, who actually did nothing wrong, and then you bring him back.
Yeah.
Because you felt guilty. So, again, it's experience. I'm telling you guys, listen to what I'm saying. It's based off of experience, which Tony Khan doesn't have. And now you're seeing all this stuff happening because of it. That's all I got to say. It's
even-
Here's the thing,
even
guys.
Eric Bischoff-
Brian Miguel.
Eric
you guys can
Bischoff
answer this
even said the
question.
same thing.
Do you think that
It was
interview
based on
that
experience.
Punk had? Do you think that okay? Do you think that interview that CM Punk had? Do you think that really got to Khan that he wanted to create this
Absolutely.
disaster? You know, what
Absolutely.
Punk has said his side of the story.
Yeah,
What the
absolutely.
experience had at that company and everything.
Absolutely. That's exactly why. Number one.
Because before he had that interview, he did, before he had that interview, he made discussions with Paul Levesque and Nick Khan to say, hey, man, can I have this interview? Can I say my when approved? And Punk said what he felt,
And not only that, guys.
You know what's completely? You know what? I got something to say. Let me go talk because I just got to get something off my chest. So, okay, I watched AEW on Wednesday, and it might have been last Wednesday, this Wednesday's episode, or last Wednesday's episode. Something triggered me when I was watching it. And here's what triggered me. Okay. Plenty of times we've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but trust me, I'm not, because I've seen it so many times. We see Vince McMahon always getting attacked, right, by different wrestlers, whether it was Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, whatever the case may be, right?
taking bumps.
Okay, now we go to AEW. What happens? Tony Khan gets attacked. Oh, gee, coincidence. So now Tony Khan wants to get attacked because he wants to show everybody that it's his turn so that he can show everybody, well, not only can Vince McMahon get attacked, but I can get attacked too. Listen, bro, if that's your way of telling us that you're trying to excite your company, man, you really got something wrong up in there. I'm just saying, and I'll let you guys have your say. That's all I got to say about that.
You know what? It is agreeable, Brian, because it is very evident what Tony Khan did. Why take a bump and then sell the maneuver at an NFL draft? What the? I mean, guys, I'm sure you guys have a lot to say, so take it away, guys, please.
I mean, going back, I wanted to say this. I know we're kind of going a little backwards. I can't believe they fucking... that was a waste for nothing. They literally paid CM Punk and AEW more than Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes wanted CM Punk and Bryan Danielson money, and it wasn't worth signing Punk in the first place. Honestly, I didn't want to see him in AEW. I never wanted to see Punk ever in any other wrestling promotion. But speaking of that whole Tony Khan getting attacked by the Young Bucks, honestly, I really don't give a shit.
You saw the draft, right?
After Miguel finish.
You saw the draft, right?
This thing was Tony.
But here, go ahead, Barry. I'll let you say Mike. Go respond
All
to
right,
that.
yeah, I was going to wait till Miguel finish.
I'm finished.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. That's fine.
This thing with Tony Khan, like when Vince McMahon gets attacked by these wrestlers, so Tony Khan gets attacked by CM Punk, I was scared of him out of my life. I was feared for my life. Are you kidding me? So they attack Vince McMahon, but when Tony Khan gets attacked, it's a different story.
But the whole thing is that you're trying to sell something, but as pro wrestling fans, we know what you're doing, and if you're trying to copy something just to try to make your shows more entertaining and interesting, to me is just like, wow, really? All of a sudden now you want to do something like that, but you never have ever done it before. And yeah, Tony Khan has a neck brace around his neck at the end.
You saw the draft, right, Brian?
Really, bro? Are you serious? That's what you're trying to do? Okay, that's got to be the lamest thing I've ever heard of or seen in my entire existence of life. I don't understand why you think it was so necessary to wear a neck brace to an NFL draft. Don't forget it.
I know you saw that draft, Brian.
I guess they wanted to keep kayfabe alive. I don't know.
It was shit. It was kayfabe, duh.
Right.
And then
right.
Daddy's over there when his son's getting laid out on the ground. Daddy's out there going, "Oh, my son!" I said, "Get out of here, man! What are you trying to sell? Get out of here, man!"
You sent your dad to the NFL draft. Oh Lord.
So
I call it bad comedy, dude.
I can't watch AEW anymore. I support the wrestlers and everything, but I just can't watch the damn product anymore. I can't figure out what is going on with it, and it's just one of these things where I think the company is failing, and it's gonna be gone here in the next couple months. I don't see it extending or expanding unless they get somebody in there to save it. I really don't.
And
I agree with things being. I agree with things being on that.
the only thing I like about AEW at the moment is their fucking video game, because with that video game I can book whatever I want to see and book whatever. I'm pretending that I'm the booker in that game. That's the only thing I like about AEW is that video game.
Well, I am happy about this, Miguel, that Broken Matt is back at TNA.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Delete.
We're just waiting for Brother Nero to come to TNA, and he's guaranteed to go back to TNA.
And he's gonna go back to WWE.
Okay, but I have a problem with it.
But he's not
I have
gonna.
a problem with it.
Oh. He's not gonna stay in TNA for a long time. He's gonna go back to WWE. Both him and Jeff. They're definitely. They're not gonna stay in. They're not gonna retire in TNA. They're gonna retire in WWE because I want to see him retire in WWE. I actually never wanted to see the Hardys to ever go to. When the Hardys left WWE, I didn't want them to go to AEW or TNA. I wanted them to retire in WWE because WWE is their home.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I don't mind seeing one last run in TNA before they go back to WWE. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And plus, he's gonna fight Moose. His last match in TNA is
And I
gonna
want
be
to
against
see Moose versus Matt.
Yeah.
And I'm invested in Moose.
Yeah,
Okay?
we're gonna see Moose versus Matt for the TNA World Title, and Matt is not gonna win that. Moose is gonna win that.
Okay, let's talk about Moose and Broken Matt. Are you predicting that Matt will put over Moose? Because you follow
Absolutely.
Moose more than anybody around here. What do you think of this storyline with them?
Absolutely. I don't know who's gonna. I don't know. Honestly, the only people that I can probably think of that could probably take that belt off Moose is probably Josh Alexander or if Nick Nemeth gets a rematch, probably him as well. And second.
Yeah, because he's now the New Japan champion. No, he's what's that champion? AAA champion now.
The AAA Mega Champion, yeah. And hey, Dolph Ziggler is having fun outside of WWE. And
oh yeah, he beat Alberto El Retard. I was so happy for that match when I saw it.
Yeah, and I was never a big Alberto Del Rio fan, even before all those accusations.
Yeah,
but and what you call yeah, so
Ziggler beat him.
So yeah, I think Matt's last match in TNA is gonna be against Moose at whatever pay-per-view they're gonna fight at, and then he goes back to WWE. Like Jose, he's not gonna sign a year. I don't think he's gonna sign a year contract there. They're just having
It's a handshake deal.
Yeah, it's a handshake
deal.
Exactly, it's a handshake
here's the thing,
deal.
guys. I mean, okay, let me be more brief with WWE, guys. Right now, WWE is too crowded, so probably that's the only reason why Matt right now is chilling in TNA. Wait until the coast is clear, until Jeff gets released, then you can finish your journey in WWE. Where you started, because you do make a good point, Miguel. You want to finish where you started.
Right, and
it's the word of wrestling. What Undertaker says: never say never.
Right.
But the problem is, Jeff has to be right. He has to be right in his mind that he's 100% clean and he's not being stupid because he hurt himself. WWE didn't hurt himself. AEW didn't hurt him. He hurt himself. So Matt, at this point, Matt's perfect. Matt's right where he needs to be. Matt wants to go to WWE. I firmly believe that. It's Jeff that has to get himself correct. If he can maintain that and he can stay sober for once in his fucking life, excuse my language, then I can see it happening. But he has to be right. He has to be right. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I'll never forget how Matt Hardy left WWE back in 2020. I don't know if I think it was Edge and Randy Orton in a feud, and Matt got involved into this whole feud, and Matt was gonna have a match with Randy, but then Randy broke his neck, and then the next week on Raw was his last appearance on Raw. They made Randy Orton destroy the hell out of Matt, and that shit pissed me off. How the way
well, his contract was up. His contract was up, and honestly, Matt had no compete clause.
Right, but
which
still,
after that,
why
Matt
would
could have
you
gone wherever he would have gone.
Right, but why would you still? Wait, hold on one second. Why would you still want him to have somebody just let him go out there and kill him like that? That's an embarrassing way to go out of a company that you put your body on the line for.
Yeah, it is.
That's embarrassing.
But like you say, Vince is no longer there anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Matt has to worry about Vince McMahon move. He just has to worry about what him and Paul Levesque can work out.
Well,
right. So I'm sure Barry and everybody's going to want to agree when I say this. Okay, so I'm going to respond to what Jose just said about WWE being too crowded. Okay, Jose, but you and I have been wrestling fans for a long time. I want you to pay attention to this, okay? The reason why WWE is so crowded is because wrestlers are waking up and realizing how great the company is. So you know what? Okay, so what if we're crowded? But I'll tell you what, we're better than we've ever been. And wrestlers are starting to see that. Why do you think Jay Cargill went to WWE and left AEW? Because she realizes how great the product is. Why do you think Naomi came back? Because she realizes the product is amazing. So at this point, so what if we're crowded? We are the best we've ever been, and we're only going to get better. Nobody better never dock WWE, or they're going to deal with me. I don't want to hear it anymore. We are who we are because wrestlers are starting to see how the product is. It's that simple. Everybody's thinking AEW because they're starting to realize that WWE is amazing right now. And they're not being used correctly over in AEW, so they're like, well, hell with this crap. Tony Khan is because it's based off experience. They know what Triple H is doing, so they're going, hey, you know what? Hell with this crap. We're going back home. So I don't want to hear about that anymore. Nobody better ever talk it, or they're going to deal with me. Period.
Well,
okay. Here's a little thing that you guys left out. Remember the releases that WWE just had recently?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people are going to say you're going to blame Paul Levesque for releases, but you need to understand this part of Paul Levesque. When Paul Levesque talked to the guys that he released, he told them specifically, hey guys, I got to release you. I got nothing for you. I'm just laying the cards out. Best future endeavors. If something comes up, I'll call you. So for these guys getting released, yes, in general, we're not fans of people losing their jobs, and we do not parade on people's downfalls, okay?
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's a blessing in disguise because you're going to have probably independent promotions or other companies knock on their door, and they'll shine. And when the time is right, then, Triple H will call them. Hey, you want to come over? Got something for you. Mm-hmm. So I think some fans are really taking the wrong way because of the releases. But people have to understand that Paul Levesque has a very tough position that's overwhelming it.
Right.
And there's going to be some decisions that are going to be agreeable or disagreeable, but do not take it personal. I mean, it's all of the part of business and experience.
Right.
That's right.
And
so you guys did not leave that out to Triple H. You need to be a Triple H guy or not, but in business point of view,
and not only that, Jose, it's not really that crowded anymore because they just released 10 NXT talents and they just released a few more talents. So no, there's still going to be room for more people to come in,
and they're going to come back.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's in good relations with Paul. Hey, Paul, he just sat down. You heard when these guys got released that they got released in a very professional way. It wasn't like in the Mickey James release and they put you in the trash bag. Jinder Mahal and all these guys said that, they felt very good when they got out, even though that it was bad news.
Okay.
But they say that Triple H sat down with them. He laid the cards, and no matter what, WWE or not, he still has him under his wing. He still has him under his mind. Like, hey, Miguel, I'm going to release you. If something comes up, I'll let you know.
And not only that,
just don't change your number.
At least
you know what I mean?
At least they don't embarrass you when you leave, like how they did to Matt Hardy on Raw. Like at least they don't do that no more.
Or the trash bag, you know.
Or the trash bag.
So now you got to take WWE in both ways. Here's the good news too that I found out from WWE. WWE very soon is going to get rid of the non-compete clause. And second of all, since all of you guys are so famous for meet and greets, I hear the company Fanatics contract is going to expire, and places like, you know, the Wrestling Guys or LA Fan Fest and all that stuff, there's going to be a possibility that those organizations are going to work with meet and greets. Like if you want to meet and greet with Bianca or the Street Profits, it's going to happen. So we want Fanatics to get the fuck out of WWE.
That'd be awesome.
Jose, let me ask you this question real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think Edge did the right thing by going to All Elite Wrestling, or you think he should have still stayed in WWE eventually before he left?
I would say personally, he's WWE, pro life, but I think it's more of an interesting that he just wants to collect money. The way you're looking at his reaction, it's like I'm collecting a paycheck, but in general, he knows he's a WWE material. He's going back anytime soon and say hello.
Yeah.
Right.
That's if Triple H has something for him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I love Edge.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
that was the key word, Jose, that you said. Now listen, if you guys have watched the press conference, he had talked about Edge. He simply said,
yep,
he just didn't have anything for him. He loves Edge. He complimented Edge. They went vice versa. Edge loves the WWE. It's just that
there's nothing for him right now.
Triple H had nothing for Edge. Now you're seeing Edge go to AEW and working with the young talent, and he's a TNT champion. But make no mistake about it, if Edge ever wanted to come back, he would be more than welcome to. So that is without question. And it's Edge is not upset at WWE at all. Not even close.
It's like Renee Paquette. I think Renee Paquette wants to go back with Triple H because she's in good relations with him.
Well, I mean,
you saw the reactions. You saw the reactions that when Renee Paquette interviews the AEW guys, and they end up saying forceful words to this WWE in general. She has a mixed reaction, and it's not something that she put herself up to it. They're putting her up to it. They're twisting her arm. I go, guys, look, Renee Paquette, it doesn't look like a happy camper. I mean, she's with her man Moxley, but still, she's WWE material. She's a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah,
but the way they have Samantha there right now, I don't think we really need Renee Paquette back, to be honest with you.
True, yeah.
And we've got... And
in general, by the end of the day, you guys have to know that the WWE, the A locker, and the AEW locker room, these guys are friends. It's just that the only problem you got is TK.
And Caleb,
and I don't think Tony Khan doesn't see that. You know what I mean?
And I don't think they're going to replace Caleb Braxton for Renee Paquette. No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Exactly.
And then here's the thing. Even Tony Schiavone put his head down by the way AEW was performing. Please, come on, you know that, man.
Oh man, I wish Tony.
And Tony Schiavone and Bruce Pritchard are very good friends, man.
Yeah,
in real life.
I would love to see Tony Schiavone in WWE, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Or maybe it might will because Vince wasn't interested because Bruce Pritchard said on his podcast that Vince had no interest in Tony Schiavone, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in WWE if he wants a job in pro wrestling. So, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, in general, you know what? In general, he said that he just didn't want to get Pritchard in trouble. He didn't want to get him into any problems because him and Bruce go way back.
Yeah.
What do you think? Cody acknowledged Bruce Pritchard because Bruce Pritchard and Dusty were very good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And honestly, you know what? There was an interview between Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn, and they asked about what they think about Vince, and honestly, they had nothing to say, and honestly, Vince was never interested in them because they were two fat, ugly guys with beaver teeth. You know, Vince McMahon doesn't have a hard-on that.
Vince is weird. Vince is weird.
Whoa.
What?
Bruce Pritchard was a yes man to Vince McMahon. To hell with all that. The only reason why Bruce Pritchard got the job was because he was a kiss ass to Vince McMahon. Other than that, I'll fire that guy right now. That guy, I'll take over his job. I could do a better job than him. Oh, bullshit. Get the fuck out with that shit. Give me a break.
Man, he's a good guy, man. Don't parade on his downfall.
Yeah.
We don't parade on people's downfall, people. Relax.
I mean, another thing I like about...
Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. That guy has done nothing for me. Nothing. Triple H has done more than that guy's ever done in his whole damn career. Dude, the brother love was about the only thing I ever remember out of that guy. Richard, the only reason why he got the job was because he was kissing Vince McMahon's ass. I can say it, and that's the damn truth. You don't like it? Tough shit. It's the truth.
Paul Levesque is bending the knee for him, and, you know, come on. Paul Levesque has heart, man.
Please don't realize because Triple H is being nice to Bruce Pritchard, otherwise he'd be fired by now. That guy doesn't do shit. I'll do his job better than him. Give me a break. I could create storylines and all that shit better than that guy. Please.
Yeah. Paul Levesque, I hope you're listening to Brian. You can hire him.
You say you heard it live on MTG Gaming.
You heard it live. So, Paul, give Brian a call.
I'm gonna say this. I think Triple H is doing a fantastic job of running WWE. He's doing a better job than Vince McMahon could.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Whoa, that's a strong statement.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean.
You're going way too far with that.
Are decent.
Vince, when he first started running the WWE after he took over his father, he was doing really good, really good. It's just that WWE started falling apart, in my opinion, around 2011. That's when Vince started doing bad.
Yeah, he became pretty senile, and he thought he could rule the world because he was making billions of dollars. No way.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Speaking of which, do you hear that Jesse Ventura might make occasion appearances now?
Yeah, I heard about that because...
No.
Yeah, that is true. And now that Vince is not there anymore, he wouldn't mind making appearances
because he
for
never
them
got his
now.
royalties.
Because
Jesse never got his royalties.
Ventura,
he never got a royalty.
Because Jesse Ventura and Vince didn't get along because Jesse Ventura sued the WWE 3 freaking times, and one of them was over a Sega Genesis video game.
And then remember, Hulk Hogan knocked him out.
Yes, he did.
Because he wanted to unionize it.
Yeah, he wanted to do a union, and Hulk Hogan kind of put a stop to that.
Hulk Hogan ratted him out.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up what Hogan did, but yeah.
So what Vince did, he decided to edit and delete all the Jesse Ventura voices and not give him any royalties.
Right, and here's another thing I'm gonna say.
That's crazy.
None of Triple H's guys is better than Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, and John Cena. None of them. Yeah. In the last...
Okay, here's a question for all of you guys. I mean, they were interviewing Dwayne and they were interviewing John Cena.
Hold on, wait, one more thing.
Okay, go ahead, Miguel.
The last big star that Vince ever made was Roman Reigns. Go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, go ahead. But, speaking of that, because it's almost related to that, when they were interviewing Dwayne and John Cena about Vince, they only said the good things about him. Do you think that you guys... They said that just to not to say a lot, just because Vince McMahon gave these guys a lot of money.
Wait, say the question again.
Or they didn't put him into anything.
Say that question
again. Yeah, the question is, when they were interviewing John Cena and Dwayne, The Rock, they only said good things about him because we all know evidently Vince McMahon made these guys a rich man, both of them.
And not
So
only
they never
that,
said anything bad. But do you think this is jeopardizing their reputation or something, that they're
No.
taking sides of the Vince or what? You know.
no, absolutely.
What's your take on that?
No, absolutely not. And Vince loves all his guys, the stars that he spent creating over the years, like Cena, Rock, and Hogan, and all them. He loves them. It's just
Roman,
that I don't think they really know the truth of what went behind with that information. I think they're just saying their honest thing about them. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Vince didn't tell them about what really happened, or maybe he did. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
think it's only the short thing. It's just that probably Vince made them rich. That was the only thing I know.
And not only they had a great relationship business-wise, they also had a great relationship personal-wise. Like, Vince, like, anytime when Vince has a party nowadays, like for his birthday, who was there? John Cena. Brock Lesnar was there. And The Rock was there. So, yeah.
The Undertaker.
Vince has a great relationship with some of his with some of the stars that he created over the years. So, yeah, I think that's what it really is.
I mean, they had lunch with him, you know, they went to parties or something, you know.
Yeah.
But I think their only answer is that they didn't have a problem with him and they just made them rich. But you do make a point. They don't know anything further what Vince McMahon did on his own time and in his own way, you know.
Right.
But they feel like they're in a very bad compromising position because, you know, they feel like they're hiding something from Vince McMahon. I mean, it's always the marks that are always going to provoke that, you know. Mm-hmm. They only said the part that, oh, yeah, I like Vince because he made me a lot of money, you know. Who knows about the other side of the controversy? They're not going to answer you that, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, Brock and all them, they still talk to him because, like I said, they have a great,
especially the Undertaker.
Yeah,
Mark Calloway has always been in good relations with him.
Yeah, they all have great relationship personal wise. Like Vince loves those guys, and they love Vince.
Undertaker's a Vince McMahon guy and a Vince McMahon creation. And it seems like the Undertaker was his best gimmick that made it very successful in the WWE, you know. So,
and I don't know. I wonder, is Hulk Hogan and Vince still on good terms? Because I know they had an on and off relationship.
It's a really crazy relationship. It's almost like you break up and then you're back again. It's like you may disagree with each other, but you guys need each other. You know what I mean?
Right, and you know, Vince created Hulkamania.
Yeah, and then it's like almost that he made Hulk Hogan a millionaire, you know, he made him a wealthy person. And for him to go narc on Jesse Ventura that, you know, Jesse was going to unionize the wrestling business, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think Jesse's ever going to forgive Hogan for that, you know.
Because that union was supposed to supposedly that union was supposed to give wrestlers like life insurance, supposed to give them like retirement type of benefits and stuff. That's what the union was supposed to do, but for some reason Hogan put a stop to that. But
and he was making money, you know?
Yeah, and anytime when you main event against Hulk Hogan back in the day, you're getting top pay. If you main event against any top guy that you either, whether if it was Hogan, Steve Austin, or The Rock, if you're working with them in the main event of a house show or a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, you're getting top pay.
Yeah, and if you're the broadcaster, if you're Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon eventing Hogan's matches, Hogan has to admit that having Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon has put him very over. One for voicing the baby faces, and then Jesse for voicing the heels. You know,
right.
You can never find good broadcasters like Jesse and Gorilla, or Bobby Heenan for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Ross is still good. Mauro Ranallo's still good. You know.
I didn't like Mauro Ranallo.
He was good. You know.
In my opinion,
when he did NXT Black and Gold, he was amazing, man.
I definitely didn't like.
JBL ended up bullying him.
I definitely didn't like Jimmy Smith. That guy sounds like he's about to have a stroke anytime he talks.
Oh yeah, he needed work, and I think they really pushed him too fast to put him there. You know.
Yeah, and Mike Adamle, remember that dude? That dude was he was the worst one out of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the last match that Mauro Ranallo did was Rick Swola in Revolution against Kenny Omega. I think that was his only last broadcasting that Mauro Ranallo did. When Kenny Omega became the whole multiple champion from TNA, Impact, AAA, and AEW, you know.
Tom Phillips was good. I liked the Tom Phillips, and he's doing good right now in TNA.
Oh, he's been good in Impact.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's good in TNA. Him and Aiden English are very good together right there.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going back because of the sexual harassment he had in that incident. That's why I'm thinking he's going back to WWE for those reasons.
Yeah, and
cool. Phillips, Ron Phillips.
Tom Phillips.
Him and yeah. He's in TNA with Aiden English.
Yeah, he was the commentator of SmackDown.
Tell me you guys did not know that he got kicked out for WWE for that reason.
Well, he didn't get kicked.
I don't know him.
Oh, you don't remember him? Oh.
Yeah, he got booted out from WWE.
Yeah, Jimmy Smith was just horrible.
Yeah.
What do you think of Jimmy Smith, Brian?
What was that?
You remember Jimmy Smith, that commentary? That guy was a horrible commentary.
Oh, yeah, that guy was terrible. It was horrible.
That guy sounds like he's about to have a stroke anytime he talks.
Pretty much. Quick and just way to, like, take your time. Like, you don't have to rush it, but...
Well...
That's how they do stuff, you know? That's the way it is.
Well, I guess he couldn't handle Vince yelling at him through the microphones because Michael Cole did say, and Jim Ross, every announcer all said this, that Vince had to talk to them through the headset to tell them what to say.
I'm sure probably Jesse hated that too, that he had to deal with Vince's headsets, you know?
Yeah, he did, and like they weren't doing that like around the mid 80s. I think they started that in the 90s, and that's when Jesse Ventura was saying junk about that. He said nobody tells the body how to write for who tells a writer how to write for me. He even said that in a shoot interview.
Yeah. But yeah, they say in future you might be seeing some appearances with Jesse Ventura. Whatever occasion Triple H will set, then yeah, you might see Jesse Ventura for that one. Because he said he had a meeting with Paul Levesque, and I think it's going to work out pretty well seeing the body there, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing any. I'm pretty sure, like even legends.
You know who's anxious?
Or hell,
you know who's very more anxious to definitely meet him? Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Because you know how good he does supporting the heels and everything as a broadcaster.
Yeah, and we might finally see Demolition in the Hall of Fame. Now that Hunter is running
Triple
things.
H is really pushing there.
Yeah, probably we might finally see Demolition in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I found out they canceled out at Russell Khan at Philadelphia this past WrestleMania.
I wonder why.
Smash has been going through a lot of health problems.
Oh, Smash.
We were supposed to have a meet and greet. Well, the thing is, we were supposed to even have a meet and greet with Demolition, and then they canceled out at the Wrestling Guy store too. So, yeah, they're dealing with a lot of health problems and everything.
Yeah. Smash was more cooler than Axe. Axe was quiet.
Yeah. Well, probably he was a little more elderly, you know. Axe is older than Smash.
Yeah.
But it's kind of amazing. It's kind of like really shocking that definitely Smash is the one that's going through all the issues and everything.
And they told me their best WrestleMania match was against the Colossal Connection at WrestleMania 6.
Three-peat.
Yeah.
That was the storyline. Three-peat, you know. It's kind of funny watching Haku's sons now joining the Bloodline, dude. Tama Tonga's good. If you follow New Japan, Tama Tonga was one of the most New Japan United States champion in the Bullet Club.
And he was also the leader of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. So Tama Tonga is a very good guy to invest on yourself.
Right.
Believe me, he's so dominant. Anybody that doesn't know Tama Tonga, he's the right guy that Dwayne decided to bring in.
Even his brother made a debut tonight in Backlash.
Yeah, his appearance. You know who I was expecting? Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I thought it was Jacob Fatu, but no, it was. Ant told me that it was his brother.
His brother's twin brother,
brother, yeah.
Another New Japan guy. But Yeah, I was expecting Jacob Fatu. You know what I was expecting him to do? To interfere in the Jey Uso Damian Priest match, to have Jey Uso to reconsider to go against the new bloodline after what they did to Jimmy Uso. But it didn't go like I predicted it, you know. I don't know when Jacob Fatu is gonna make his appearance.
Jacob Fatu. He might.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? And you know what the interesting part is? The part where Jey Uso was backstage and you saw the Solo, you saw Tama, you saw the brother, and you saw Paul Heyman walking past Jey Uso.
Well, because he feels the effect what they did to his brother, dude.
Yep.
I mean, as much as Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso went at it, that's still his brother, man. He's got to feel for him.
Right, and he tried to get his brother to leave the bloodline.
Yeah, I mean, going to that WrestleMania match between Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, my pick was Jimmy Uso to win that match, because if Jey Uso lost, it didn't matter for him because Jey Uso's very bulletproof and very over. Jimmy Uso needed it more than Jey.
I disagree.
The Hardy's matches and the Hart Foundation. Remember when in WrestleMania 25, it was Matt Hardy versus Jeff, and then Matt Hardy won. WrestleMania 10, Owen versus Brett, and then Owen won. That was the way that storyline should have turned out, but it turned out to be opposite. So they shot themselves on that feud.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, Jose. I think Jey needed that win more than Jimmy did, because if Jimmy would have won, it probably would have hurt Jay's momentum if probably his crowd reaction and stuff would have wound it down. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. But as far as Matt and Jeff
he was very over.
But as far as Matt and Jeff goes, Matt had to win because that was a way to get him even more over as a heel, because it's been a while since he's been a heel at that time. And same with Owen. Owen needed that more than Brett because Owen wasn't over yet, so they had to let Owen win against Brett, because Brett was more the established brother and he was already a WWE champion and etc. So no, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
But wasn't his yeet and his title shot for the mid card was putting Jey over? You saw that,
right? But
so I still feel that Jey is still bulletproof, you know.
Yeah, but if Jimmy would have won,
you gotta see the response. It's evident he gets a response.
Right, but if Jimmy would have beaten Jey, I think Jimmy would have got more over as a heel, and then Jay's momentum kind of would have went down.
I don't know. You just feel like Jay's really like stepping on it, win or lose or anything, or bad finishes. But you know, it is what it is. You know.
Right.
It's just like if you were watching that match, it seems like the fans were unbalanced. They were like cheering, booing. It's like, I don't know. It's like that match went both ways, you know.
Right. And for WrestleCon, if I ever go out to WrestleMania in Vegas next year, I know that at WrestleCon, TNA is actually going to do a show there. I want to go to that, and then hopefully the 2 nights.
They do a lot of events over there. You know that.
Yeah, they do a AAA event. They do a TNA event. I think they do GCW as well. But when I was in Texas, they did a TNA event, an Impact Wrestling event, which I wish I should have went. And but since it's going to Vegas, I really want to go to a TNA event in Vegas. And during WrestleMania weekend, and then WrestleMania I'll go Saturday and Sunday. I want to go to both nights because I didn't get to do that when I was in Dallas. I should have went to both nights in Dallas because I could have saw Stone Cold wrestle.
Yeah, they canceled our 316 meet and greet because remember Steve Austin was at that race event at Vegas, so we didn't get a 316 meet and greet this year. He canceled out on that one. I spoke to Victoria and Jasmine because they were scheduled to go to WrestleCon, which they did. And according to them, they only decided to do one show because they say that WrestleCon are real pricks and dicks anyway. So,
like the people that runs
it. Well, the people that run it, you know. And they were telling me that WrestleCon owners are not the most trusted host and business partners to work with because they invite you, and you get the short end of the stick, and they don't live up with the part of the agreement. That's why they told me they only did one show, because they say they got stiffed by them. Interesting. I go, that's news to me. I mean,
That's
something they wouldn't
interesting
tell
as
me.
well. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah. And then I heard that Demolition and Psycho Sid canceled out, so
Kevin Nash canceled out too.
yeah, he canceled. And I was so surprised they invited Ken Patera. I wanted to see Ken Patera, the first Olympic wrestler before Kurt Angle.
And he was also the second ever guy to win the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. And he broke the Olympic record bench pressing 500 pounds. Well, before Dino Bravo did 712 pounds.
Yep.
Which Jesse Ventura was the spotter, which honestly he helped lift that. I remember watching the Royal Rumble and Jesse Ventura spotting Dino Bravo picking up 712 pounds of bench press. That was a good storyline, dude.
Yeah. I didn't really watch him a lot because that was like in the early 80s, and the farthest I ever looked back in WWE history was from 1985 all the way till now.
Well, when I met Cameron in the Wrestling Guy Store meet and greet, I ended up going very legendary with her, talking about legend women's like Rockin' Robin, Wendy Richter, the Glamour Girls, Leilani Kai,
Velvet McIntyre,
Judy Martin, and the Jumping Bob Angels, Red Angel and Pink Angel.
Princess Victoria.
She goes, "You're going way back." Of course, man. Jimmy Hart managed the Glamour Girls, but he lost the belts against the Jumping Bob Angels. I go,
yeah.
I told people, watch the first Royal Rumble that Duggan won, and you'll see who the Jumping Bob Angels are and Glamour Girls.
All right, well, I guess we're gonna have to cut this tonight, guys. But thanks for joining in.
Yeah, so am I.
All right, people.
Thanks for
MTG
joining in, guys.
Gaming says,